Start.
Yeah.
Right. Hi, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to EduTALK. EduTALK is a virtual talk show happening weekly on our YouTube channel, Education Solutions International TV. We're opening up this Black History Month with my dear brother and friend here, Dr. Noel Gordon. And we're going to talk a little bit about what's happening around us, current issues relating to Black history. Why is it important to start talking in families about the history of Black people across the world? This is not just an American thing. It's a global thing or a global movement as it relates to history, because Black history is actually history. It's not just for Black people. So we're very happy that the powers at whatever powers came into be that created this Black History Month and the focus on Black history for the month of February. But I would really love for Black history to be talked about 12 months of the year. Good evening, Dr. Noel Garden. Welcome to EduTalk.
Hi, good evening. It's actually evening where I'm at here, so that's an appropriate response. How you doing?
I am doing well. Yes, I'm doing well. And you're in Greece visiting over there. How is it to be a tourist?
It's amazing. The experience is great. The historical sites and the places that I've been to, which I could mention a little bit later on. But it's exciting, and I'm having a wonderful time here in Greece. I read about Greece in the Bible, but no, no,
Yeah,
I'm in Greece.
yeah. Oh, that's very nice. Very, very nice. I will visit there one day.
You
Very
should.
soon. Yeah, yeah. So let's
Yeah.
talk a little bit because we get exposed to Black history. Growing up in Jamaica and so on, we talk about history of our people and we look at a long time ago, I thought Black history started with the Middle Passage, with slavery. I didn't know the things that came before slavery for Black people, and I did learn about the Moors in Europe, which ruled Europe for about 700 years before slavery, and then slavery happened in Africa to Europe to the Americas, including the Caribbean. So
Yes.
a lot of people think Black people they really need and colored people need to understand the importance of teaching these concepts and the history to their kids,
Yes.
right?
Right. It is. Let me start. And I'm glad that you preface the conversation with that historic little bit of history,
Hmm.
because folks tend to have the impression that we are new. We're not new. Blacks were the original people on the face of the earth. Talk about University of Timbuktu. You talk about architecture, and even in modern times, most of the amenities that we're using today um, were designed by blacks. The very light that we have here, that we see, developed by blacks.
Yeah,
They are the originators of many things, but that is not so forth in our history. That is not many times when you read about the development of civilization, it would appear as if we were in Africa sleeping in trees and running around with monkeys in the bushes. And I
yeah,
remember when I came to the United States of America, one kid asked me, "Do you live in trees in Jamaica?"
yeah.
And just to tell you how things are. But let me just get quickly to the point. There are four parts, four things I'd like to address as it
Mm.
relates to the importance of teaching Black history in our schools. The first one is basically uh, highlighting the significance, the importance of teaching Black history, uh, uh, expressing. We have to express our thoughts, and we can't be afraid of it because it impacts a number of things. First of all, our identity and self-esteem is very important.
Yes,
Um, Accurate representation of who we are is
yes,
important.
yes.
Cultural awareness and empathy is
Mm.
important, and historical context and perspective. So let me quickly go through these for us.
Yeah,
Identity and self-esteem. Teaching Black history helps children develop a positive sense of identity and self esteem, understanding their heritage and also their contributions. I alluded to that earlier on, the things that we invented. So,
Yeah.
if kids are able to see themselves in a positive light and understand that we made a significant contribution to society, then they will sort of see themselves in a very positive light. And accurate representation. Black history is often misrepresented or omitted in schools,
Mm-hmm.
uh, perpetuating stereotypes and misconceptions. So, accurate teaching helps to correct these narratives. And we know that it's out there,
Mm-hmm.
not just in schools, but what you see in the media. It's also negative connotations, right? And
Yeah.
then the cultural awareness and empathy. Learning about Black history fosters cultural awareness. It fosters empathy and understanding, breaking down barriers and promoting inclusivity. I remember when I was a student doing one of my master's degrees at Montclair State University, and there was a topic on white privilege.
Yeah.
And I was the only Black student in the master's class. And the professor, Dr. Ada Beth Cutler, I still remember her name, that was a couple of decades ago. And she asked me to share my experience. And when I shared my experience with the white students, they were shocked. I said, every day I wake up, I face discrimination. I say, if I go to the store, they walk around.
Yeah.
I'm stopped on the road, I
Yes.
feel it. And the way I'm treated at the gas station, I
Mm-hmm.
feel it. And they didn't really realize that, yeah, these things actually impact us on a daily basis. So we move away from the accurate representation now to the cultural awareness. As I said, learning about Black history, it fosters that awareness, and it creates that inclusivity. Let's take a look at the historical perspective,
Mm-hmm.
historical context and perspective. Now,
Yeah.
studying Black history provides context and perspectives on historical events, helping children understand the complexities of the past and its impact on the present.
Mm-hmm.
In my capacity, when I served as director of curriculum for our school district, the New Jersey Department of Education recommended, or in fact, they expected all school districts to teach the Amistad curriculum. The Amistad curriculum sort of highlights the contribution that Blacks made to it in towards history.
Mm-hmm.
And I would interview social studies teachers,
Mm-hmm.
and they were not aware of the Amistad curriculum. They
Yeah.
didn't know about the content of the Amistad curriculum.
Yeah.
So far, that what I did in my school district, I wrote a resolution to the Board of Education that every social studies teacher from grade 1 to grade 12
Yeah.
should incorporate the Amistad curriculum, uh, because if we are not intentional about it, the history that we present to our students, our children, our Black children, will exclude us. So
Yes.
the failure of the school to teach Black history is a reality.
Mm-hmm.
It's a reality. So there's really lack of representation. Black history is often relegated to a single month in the United States, in particular.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
February
Yeah.
is Black History Month, or maybe there might be a few token events rather than being integrated into the curriculum. It has to be intentionally
Yeah.
integrated in the curriculum, and then we have inaccurate portrayals.
Yes.
Schools often perpetuate stereotypes and misconceptions about Black people and their history rather than providing accurate representation. We know
Yeah.
about that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Even,
What about?
they want us to forget about slavery. Oh,
Yeah.
you guys
Yeah.
went through slavery, don't talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
But
That's
it
horrible.
impacts us today.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I remember when I came to this country, I have a friend, she had a PhD, she's a veterinary, she's a doctor of veterinary medicine. And
Yeah.
she said, Noel, you can relate better um, uh, as far as communicating with the people in our community and communicating and getting along with people of different races and the whites and everybody. You can probably execute a little better than me because you were not exposed to lynching. You were not exposed to the Jim Crow rules. You were
Yeah.
not exposed. Your parents were not exposed to, hey, you have to use the colored bathroom or the
Yeah.
white bathroom, and
Yeah.
so you were not exposed to segregation. So psychologically, she said, it still impacts her today. I
Yes.
didn't have that experience in Jamaica, so I'm able to come here, and because there was not the negative portrayal, the prime minister is black, the bank
Yes.
manager is black, the teacher
Yeah.
is black. So these things really impact us, and we have to present our history in a manner so that our young people can understand that we have value. You
Yeah.
know, the
What
other thing
about
is,
the
go ahead.
what about the fact that nowadays in America, certain parts of America, you cannot teach um certain topics on the Black history. They are calling it that it's not accurate. It's not accurate history, and it makes white people look bad if you talk about certain things. So you need to be inclusive. If the school is failing to accurately teach history, accurate history, what are some of the things that the families could do to help their kids understand where their foreparents are coming from?
I'm glad you raised that because this is a new thing. You know, this is a new
Yeah.
thing that been imposed upon us because we affirmative action. In fact, one of the requirements for us up until this point was to come up with an affirmative action plan in our spaces in our various schools so that we ensure equity and this whole
Mhm.
DEI situation where they feel that blacks are given an opportunity to get a job, they're not competent enough.
Yeah, they're not
But
competent,
we
right?
have, but it's not about competence. We are as competent as anybody else, but we
Yes,
want to get the equal opportunity. It's not about
right.
putting incompetent people in positions. It's
Yeah,
about giving you an opportunity
yeah.
to participate despite the color of your skin. So yeah, there's a problem. There are systemic barriers such as racism and bias, and we have to come up with solutions to these.
Hmm.
Uh, we look at our resources in the certain communities, even Jamaica. I
Yeah,
know that certain schools have more resources than other schools, depending
yes,
on where it's located. So we have to look at the resources. Schools may be lacking in resources and textbook materials, trained teachers, um, and effectively executing their responsibilities because of all of these limitations. So we have to come up with solutions. So I think one of the things that we need to do intentionally,
yeah,
and this is applicable wherever you are, whichever country you're in the Caribbean or United States or wherever, is to integrate Black history in the curriculum.
yeah.
You know,
That's gonna be
we
hard.
incorporate Black history into regular curriculum rather than relegating it to a single month or a single event
Exactly,
or just providing it,
exactly.
every now and then, and to provide
Hmm.
accurate representation,
Yeah,
ensuring that materials and resources used to teach Black history are accurate and
yes.
respectful. You
Hmm.
know, if you look at those movies with the black face and all of that,
Yeah,
blacks were always seen as servants and, the helper and the slave. But
yeah,
we have to have proper representation. We have to train teachers and educators properly, provide teachers and educators with trainings and resources to effectively teach Black history and address the systemic barriers, because
yeah.
there are some systemic barriers that
Hmm.
we have to tear down. Whether we are dealing in a Jamaican context or we're dealing in an American context or across the Caribbean, because we know that when we were growing up, it's not just white privilege, there's also brown privilege. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Yes, yes.
There's also brown privilege. We don't talk about it, but yeah, there's brown privilege. I
Yeah,
remember I was talking on one of a program. I think I was on CVM TV, and I
yeah,
share this example with the host. There's this little thing I learned when I was a kid, and the song was "Mama J, Coolie they come, Mama J, Coolie they come." Mama J Cooley they come, meaning Mama J Cooley is coming. Open the door, let the Cooley come in. First of all, calling somebody Cooley is also racist. He said,
yes,
if he's white, let him come in. If
yeah.
he's brown, let him go around. If he's black, let him go back. Open
Oh,
the door, let the coolie come in. So
wow.
you see, we have to be very, very conscious. We still having people telling one another in describing you're black or you're black and ugly.
Mm-hmm.
You're so black, you know, you
Yes.
have picky here, you
Yes.
know, broad like, you know, all this kind of thing. Different people have different phenotypic characteristics,
Yeah.
different the way they look physically. It doesn't mean you're ugly or you're pretty.
Yeah.
We just have to affirm people, however they look, and let them know that they're beautiful. All
Mm-hmm.
right. And then we also have to involve the community, engage with community, including parents. Tell parents stop talking down to your children.
Yeah.
Anything too black, not good. You know,
Yeah.
we have to speak
Yeah.
with local organizations, historians, to provide authentic and relevant learning experiences for our children. So these are
Yeah.
some of the few things that we can do, and we should be very intentional about it, because you would be shocked to know how many black children and even black adults going around the place with low self-esteem, looking at themselves less than others because
Yes.
of how it's
Yes.
portrayed in the media, and because they were not taught
Yeah.
about their rich heritage. You know, I learned more about Marcus Garvey since I came to the United States
Yeah.
than
That's
I
me.
learned in
Yes.
YouTube.
Yes.
I
That
learned
I
more in the
learned.
United
Yeah.
States about Marcus Garvey than I was in Jamaica.
Listen,
Bob
I
Marley,
didn't
go
know
ahead.
that the Aborigines people in Australia, they Marcus Garvey actually had a group over there belonging to his international organization back in the 1920s.
Wow.
Yes, the guy reached all the way. His reach was even in Australia, among the black people in Australia.
Yeah. Listen. Let me. I was in Zimbabwe.
Yes,
I was in Harare, Zimbabwe.
my goodness.
And when I raised the Bob Marley Peter Church, they were, in fact, they were talking about Butcher Banton and all
Yes,
of these people
yes,
right there in in Zimbabwe, uh,
yes,
Southern Africa.
yeah,
So the bottom line is that we do not talk as much about our people and celebrate them as much as we can.
yes,
Um, I'm
yes,
so glad that, you know, I was young when they sort of introduced new national heroes in Jamaica,
yeah,
Nani and Kojo,
yeah,
and
yeah,
all of these
yeah,
people. George William,
yeah,
Paul Bogle was also black. So the
yeah.
bottom line is we have to understand the rich heritage we have and talk about the greatness that's among us. It's
Mm-hmm.
so amazing that what Joe Biden did recently, that Marcus
Exonerated
Garvey was
Marcus.
exonerated. You know,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
all these
very
are
good.
positive things to talk about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Listen, we're wrapping up. Can you share a little bit about your experience because we have to close down in a few minutes, literally.
Yes. Um,
Your experience there in Greece? What is it like being that you're going there for the first time? I'm sure it's not gonna be the last, but what is it like?
um, it is it is you know, when I was a kid, I heard about Greece. I heard about, you know, the gods, the Zeus, and all these gods of ancient days. And I heard about various geographical location. I We went on a tour, and I was at a location, and they said this is where Paul confronted the people who were worshiping the unknown God. I
Yeah.
was on Mars Hill. I wasn't physically on Mars Hill.
Wow.
Um, uh, you know, I was looking at the Acropolis, and the
Yeah.
Corinthians, of the ancient citadel and temple dedicated to Athena, offering uh, breathtaking city views. I was up there looking at the city, and I'm now looking at the temple of the you know, Zeus was the Olympian,
Yes.
an impressive temple with towering Corinthian columns. I was actually there. I took pictures there.
Yes.
Just today, I drove past the first Olympic stadium, because the first
Wow.
Olympic was held here.
Yes.
I
Yes.
drove past the first Olympic stadium, which they maintain it in its original position. You know, they renovated it, but
Yeah.
it was the first stadium, and it looked just as it looked back
Yeah.
then. You know, there were unique features of the stadium made out of marble. You know, it was
Yes.
fascinating, and what I notice mostly about the people here in Greece is that they are not, they don't appear to be materialistic. The little cars drive, they were not rushing.
Yeah.
I've heard one person raising a voice and getting upset. Or the food, we went to the restaurants. I mean, the food is so healthy. The olive oils and no
Yes, yes,
grease and
yes,
additives that we have here.
yes.
And I'm told that these folks live to a very good old age. And I can understand why. I think I heard a horn honked maybe 2 or 3 times since I'm here.
Wow. Wow.
You know, so it's a really beautiful place. And I think that we should capitalize on opportunities whenever we have them. Me
Yeah,
growing up in Jamaica in a little country place called Wat Town, St.
yeah,
Anne, I didn't dream that I would be able to come to Greece, to a place
yeah.
that the Bible talks about.
Yes,
But
yes.
we should encourage our children and our associates. And even those who are watching me now, don't save all the money for your children when you die.
Exactly.
Get on a vacation and come and explore all these beautiful places, because it adds to your repertoire, it adds to your body of knowledge, and it helps you to understand that the world is not just your little space in which you live. It
Yes,
teaches
yes.
you to be objective and to not to just think that it's just Jamaica or Canada or
Mm-hmm.
Trinidad, or that's the only space. And we learn to respect and appreciate people of different cultures
True.
also.
Yeah, thank you. Very
Yes,
good.
sir.
Yeah, so we'll touch base again very soon. Thank you so much for being on, Dr. Gordon.
Thank you so much, and I
Yeah,
hope that you enjoy the rest of your time. And by the way, the
yeah.
weather is kind of beautiful here, even though
Oh,
it's
wow.
winter. It's not as
Yes.
cold as where you are in New York, so I can
Yeah.
show off on you a little bit.
That's very good. Thank you everybody for joining us. This has been EduTalk. You can write to us at edusolutionsintl@gmail.com. That's edusolutionsintl@gmail.com, or just Google us, Education Solutions International. That's our nonprofit, Education Solutions International. You can just Google us online. All right. We will see you next week with another edition. This has been the opening of Black History Month. It's Caribbean Diaspora Month. And we will have more shows like this for you to grapple with some of the ideas around Black history. Because think of it, Black history is actually history. It's actually everybody's history. Well, good, everybody. Take care. Dr. Gordon, see you later.
Thank you. Take care.
All right. Bye bye.